Cold open time. Who's got? Does anybody have anything?
That Miami Connection thing could have been one, unless you have one, Nick.
No, I was gonna be like it's cold outside. That's a cold open. I opened the door and it was cold.
Get the fuck out of here,
man. I guess we're done with the cold opens because it's already like.
I hope
they
have fucking drowned in a desert, dude.
Well, the thing about cold opens, we've already discussed this, is it has to happen organically while we're talking. You can't be. It's like going to the bar, and it's like, oh, you're a comedian. Tell me a joke right now. Mm-hmm. It's just like you can't just be like cold open, go.
You did the cold part. I'll do the open part.
Nice. Okay.
I was at this store and a woman opened her legs. I don't know.
And then that's set.
Yeah. And then I bought some bread.
And she gave me some sloppy top in the frozen food aisle.
Yeah, it was cold.
She gave me some cold cut toppy sloppy.
Oh, cold cut toppy sloppy
in the deli section.
I don't know about that flavor of Ben and Jerry's.
She sat on the frozen peas for an hour, and then she opened her legs. That's a cold open.
Podcast start.
Steam.
I don't like
Steam was
any
coming
of this.
out.
None of
this is awful.
None of this is usable.
No, it's not. Don't put any of this in.
Oh, I know what could be usable is.
And
So what about Rango Unchained?
Bing.
Rango Unchained is good. We could use that. I was recording on OBS when we were talking. Did you miss all of that conversation?
Yeah, except there was a thing that you guys thought that I said I was being racist. So
well, I mean,
what was Rango Unchained?
Rango Unchained was
that it's got a similar.
My idea for redoing Django, but just having the characters from Rango, the same story as Django Unchained, but the comedic style and characters from Rango.
And the same.
Maybe we should just go back to the grocery store jokes.
maybe this is
all right. We got two cold open options. You got grocery store or like phrenology.
But I think the mayor would definitely be the Leo character, Leo DeCap.
Well, yeah, obviously.
And then Samuel Jackson would be Bad Billy.
Okay.
We could use the curtain peeking thing, the consumers thing.
Oh yeah.
The curtain peeking.
I was thinking we could open with do a, as an homage to the return of one of the best shows on television. We could do like a
Sex and
the City style podcast opening.
Guys,
like. I'm with her.
I just learned about this crazy thing on the internet. It's called gender. What is it?
It's called masturbation. Do you guys ever masturbate?
They make like the most obvious like
masturbated.
Disgusting.
Yeah, I jerk off on the train. That's why they call it the J train. That's literally one of the jokes. And then Bobby Lee's character is like, oh, and the A train stands for anal.
Nice, dude. And then when you jizz on the train, it's called the J shot.
Yeah, the J shot. There you go.
And then if you ride around topless, it's called the B train for boobs.
I was just gonna say like that's where my brain went with like how if he actually made like A train as anal, they just go through. They're like, see, it's the cum train, it's the dildo train, it's the erection train,
it's the fuck train.
Yeah, fuck train.
It's the gay train.
The entire alphabet.
It's the guck train.
Are we all trying to figure out what the next letter is?
Train.
Okay.
Hymen train. Okay. All right. Let's do it. Okay.
I is the eyeball train.
The incest
I
train.
is the incest train.
Incest
Oh, do we both say that at the same time?
Yeah.
J. We already got
J.
J.
We got J. K.
For
Kermit.
This is getting a lot harder.
Kermit train.
The Kermit train.
For people who are into puppet play. The corn train.
What about pussy train?
The queef train.
Pussy train's good.
Queef train? Are we on cue?
The queef train.
Yeah, the rape train.
I was trying to think of something other than that.
We're just killing all of our cold opens. We're killing them all.
The
people
rim
are
train.
into like.
What about the rim train?
Rim job train.
Rim train.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just
There you
the
go.
train
Like
of rim
rape
drops.
train though. W is
This is the
Wiener
longest cold open.
The Will Wheaton train.
The Will Wheaton.
Yeah, we just throw that one in there. Just
That guy pounds.
Yeah, he's taking
X
that
is
train to Pound
definitely-
Town. That's final destination for him is Pound Town.
the X train.
Yeah.
Or the
It's
XXX train.
XXX train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or that. The
Wise.
Yes train.
Yeah.
Because we love consent here. That
Yes.
there will be duds.
And the Zoophilia train.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay. Ended on a high
Zoophilia
note.
train.
Wait, did we go through all? We did A. Did we? We did.
We
B.
missed K. We missed K.
Well, yeah, we weren't
Was
sure
the
what to
only
do
one
with
that
K.
we missed.
The Klondike train. The Dyke train.
For
The-
Inuit porn. We got K-hole. That's more of like a drug thing. We got kielbasa.
Oh, the
Yeah.
ketamine train. It's the
The
ketamine train.
kink, the kink train.
Kink.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
my
What do we?
word.
It's right there.
Oh
Okay.
my
That
god.
can't be the
Okay,
cold
cool.
open
Now
because
we can start the
completely
show.
missed. We completely missed it. That's
How do we-
Okay, so we got to go through the alphabet
How do we
again.
think
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Zoophilia train before we think of kink train?
It's almost like there's
It's like thinking too hard.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. Okay, let's never do cold opens again. Let's go back
Yeah.
to the old format.
Let's
Cynthia
not
Nixon
there,
almost
Mr.
ran
Parker.
for governor of New York.
The
which is
rest of
weird
them
that-
are. The rest of them are okay.
Good for her.
She ran for governor, and then I'm pretty sure there's a scene where she just gets like fingered in a kitchen by that Che Diaz character.
Hell
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
dude.
Like,
Yeah,
you were
that's
almost
the-
a,
yeah.
a governor.
Is that a
That's
thing
right.
that a woman in her like 50s as a governor candidate would still do? Fucking finger
Yeah,
blast
it's
me in
like-
the kitchen.
Probably.
It's like an episode of
Probably.
X-rated Veep.
What do you?
Anyway, let's.
What do you
let's-
think? They're all horned up. There's opportunity, and she's just gonna go. No, I'm a candidate for governor. You can't finger me in the kitchen. you gotta,
I have boundaries.
you gotta
I
go
would-
to the bedroom.
I would hope so. I mean, she could get canceled
Nah.
for that. If it gets out, if it gets leaked that she got fucking finger
Back
blasted in a kitchen,
to-
I think she'd be canceled.
If my governor
duds.
isn't willing to be finger blasted in the
I'm your
kitchen, I'm not voting for
co-host.
her. Like-
TJ.
Oh shit, yeah, okay.
AKA.
Sorry, TJ. Let's do intros.
Jeez.
I guess.
I don't know why we're still talking about this.
I think that based on this reaction, I don't think TJ would be on any. TJ would never take the train.
The only train I want to take is the
Train
P
to
for
Film
podca-
Town.
The,
P for podcast.
Yeah, let's
to
do it.
film. This is There Will Be Duds. I'm your co-host TJ, aka J Spot Jack Cheese, and with me as always.
as always, I'm Nick, aka Dr. Funk on Twitch. You sound
As
so
always.
defeated. And with me, as always.
As always,
I want to talk about the movie.
as always, I'm Travis, aka the Super General, aka avid
Train rider.
avid train rider.
You're the Francois Bourgeois of Sex in the City.
I fucking love that dude too. That's great. I love that dude. I have a GoPro on all the whole time.
Like tonight, we say goodbye to to one of my favorite models of train,
Yeah, Dick.
the
what-
Vulva train.
Oh,
we
nice,
we
dude.
wasted all of our time of TJ's internet not being out talking about sex trains. And literally as soon as we get into the podcast.
I
You
mean,
know, what the fuck?
that is. I think
I am
that's.
still recording, but
Oh,
we can
okay.
hear you. That's. I don't know. I think that's kind of like
Poetic.
a good use of time. To be honest, like.
How was the train?
Dagan, did you do your intro? It was cool. Did you do your intro?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I think that
Okay.
like you could make a podcast just on sex trains.
Yeah, you maybe could, but
We got $1 million
Maybe that-
idea here.
that's not this podcast. We
All right.
watched a fucking movie
We sure
this
did.
week.
It was called
Uh,
Midnight Meat Train.
It's called it's called Rango from 2011, directed by Gore Verbinski, and it follows a chameleon who goes by the name of Rango. I'll say that. As he kind of fakes his way into becoming the sheriff of it's in the present day, but it's stylized like an Old West thing. So he becomes a sheriff of like this Old West town. It's all animals. It's all animated, obviously, and then finds out that maybe his role and the sort of mystery that he's stumbling into is a little too big for his britches, and yeah, that's a plot summary.
It's kind of like the Matrix. It's kind of like the Matrix if you really.
I was
about it.
okay. I was going to say
Really?
I was under the influence when I watched this movie.
Nice.
Okay.
And like there's this part where they're with all the moles and the bats and stuff, and Rango's on the back of this bat or whatever. Or no, he's tied up. He's like tied up and he's being drugged behind a bat, right?
Yeah.
Then there's like this explosion and he's like in midair and he's gonna like land on a bat, and I like in my head, and I almost verbalized. I was so close to verbalizing it, which was weird, but I was like, he is the one. And I was like thinking like the whole thing is like he's basically Mr. Magoo, but at the same time everything he does is like perfect for the situation, even when he fucks up. You know, it's very like cartoonish or whatever, but like yeah, I was like, the only way this movie works out is if he is the one for like the lizard one.
Well, it's kind of like, as we learn as we watch the movie, it is kind of a, if you want to think of the western town as the Matrix and the mayor as, I don't know if he's a hybrid of Smith and Morpheus, because he kind of tells Rango that's like, you're the sheriff now, you're gonna be the one that you get to save us. But it's like by design, because there's so many other sheriffs before him. It's like this like artificial role that he has that ultimately like he finds out is like kind of meaningless in the grand scheme of things, but also he saves the day anyway. I don't know. I guess it's not as close to the Matrix as I thought it was, but I think on a surface level it's kind of similar.
Not story wise, it's not similar, but like his character.
Yeah, I mean, when he sees the actual like human city of Las Vegas, that's him awakening outside the Matrix.
That's him getting pulled out of his pod.
Yeah, that's him getting flushed. Oh, he literally got flushed.
That is true.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Damn.
Or maybe his life inside his little cage was the Matrix, and then once that got out, he got flushed, and then he saw the real world around him.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
And there's guns.
I'll tell you, actually, what the mayor like has to be a reference to. There's no way it's not, because also the story is very similar to this movie. But John Huston in Chinatown, it's like the exact same story as this movie, pretty much. Minus it's modern day, but it's literally like John Huston is this like Hollywood mogul who is literally like controlling the water supply in LA, and just the way that that Ned Beatty's character, the tortoise, like acts, it's very, very like John Huston in that. I can't remember his character's name, but yeah.
It's kind of Mad Max-ish too. Like I mean, it's obviously before Fury Road, but it's like the same thing. Like one person controls the water, and then everyone else kind of.
Oh yeah, that too.
You know,
yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah. I wanted to say, since you mentioned the action, how he's like clumsy, it reminded me a lot of, I actually thought during that the like bat mole chase thing, it reminded me a lot of Shane Black's movies, because I love the action in his movies. Like, not as much like Lethal Weapon, but like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang or The Nice Guys, or even Iron Man 3, like the climaxes to all those movies is literally just like the main characters like falling and tripping their way into like saving the day, and that's pretty much all that Rango did until like, you know, he had his moment. I mean, he still kind of did like run around a lot, but he like stood his ground at the end, you know.
Yeah, it's
More or
Mr.
less.
Magoo. He's like falling,
Yeah.
and also, but falling is the thing that he does.
I love
That's what he does
That he's
best.
good at.
when the bats, whenever
Yeah.
they crash, they have like tiny explosions like they're airplanes.
I
noticed
that too. Yeah. I have no idea why, but I thought that was funny.
Yeah. There's a lot of shit in
It
here.
was a. What's up?
I was gonna say there's a lot of stuff in here that I'm just like I don't know why I'm laughing at that, but that's just comedy gold.
It was a very funny movie. It was very dark also, like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
a lot of
I
dark
forget how-
implications, and like there's some it's definitely one of those
There's
movies
death.
that has like jokes that only adults would get in the theater if they brought their kids.
There's a lot of that.
See, yeah.
My favorite one was like at the very end when they're I don't know, I'm assuming this was intended to be a joke, but when they're in the water tank as it's filling up, Rango and
Beans.
They're in the water can, and like he like has the bullet in his teeth, and he's like, "This is Plan B," and then they kiss, and like she like accidentally eats it, and he just says, "You just swallowed Plan B," and I was like,
Oh.
It's like,
Make that
hold up.
connection.
Okay.
There was. We were just talking about the House of Flying Daggers episode, and like when you said beans, all I could think about is like the 20-minute
Oh yeah.
divergence that we took to talk about flicking the beans.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the script is very funny. There's a lot of like double entendres, and like I don't know, the dialogue is very clever. In the way that old westerns are. That's why I like this movie so much, is because it's an animated movie from 10 years ago that feels, other than it's like animals, it feels like an old western, or like very similar to it, just with a kind of a different kind of main character, obviously.
Well, yeah,
Right.
they even have Timothy Olyphant as like Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
Like it's,
He does a really good job.
he does a
I
really
remember
good job as
Is this heaven?
If it were, we'd be eating Pop-Tarts with Kim Novak.
I remember the first time I watched this, I thought it was Clint Eastwood. But
Yeah,
like
I
I
did
mean
too.
now knowing it, I'm like, well, it's obviously Timothy Olyphant.
Timmy
but, like,
Ollie.
Timmy
Timmy
Ollie.
Ollie, yeah.
His cameo was pretty cool. The only thing that was like kind of slightly a bummer, it's a very small bummer, but
No
it
bummer.
has like such a stacked voice cast, and
That
I
was
feel
what I was just gonna say.
and they're all doing basically just like Mexican American accents. So
I
like
mean,
the armadillo was like, oh, that was Alfred Molina. I literally couldn't tell. Same with like a lot of the other. I couldn't tell that it was like, oh, that's because usually when you have a voice actor like in a voice something in a cartoon, usually I guess because like Stephen Root was in this movie too, and I don't know, I couldn't tell.
again, maybe it's because I've seen the movie before, because I know, but I like don't agree at all. Except like Isla Fisher sounds really different.
Yeah, she kills that.
She puts on like a
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
good accent. But like I think everybody is
I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying
No,
they're
I meant
bad. I'm saying they're like
recognizable, like-
underutilized. Like I couldn't recognize any of their voices.
It's funny because I actually thought I thought one of you guys was gonna like bring up kind of a counterpoint that I noticed this time, because Stephen Root voices Merrimack, the one that drowns in the desert and they like find his body, and then he also voices the rabbit Doc. Yeah.
Which is a Bugs Bunny reference, I'm assuming.
Yeah, maybe. Probably. And they find Merrimack dead, Stephen Root's character dead. And then like in that same scene, the jackrabbit like comes up and like he says something. It's the same voice. And like for a second I was like, wait, is he alive again? I forgot if that's like a joke or something, and it's not. But I was like, is that like misleading, or but I don't know. So like because I knew that was both of those were Stephen Root, that it kind of like messed me up, I guess.
I think that was
Harry
probably.
Dean Stanton's in it, and I didn't hear him at all.
I think that would be the point is to, like, or that was the point, was to have him pronounce himself dead, pretty much.
Oh,
That's a
okay.
pretty funny joke.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of I think I'm gonna push back on Nick here. I know what you're saying, but it's kind of like I almost like that
Yeah.
that they put on something, so it's not just like I'm not like sometimes with like animation, like if it's somebody that's like, you know, like Chris Pratt in the new Mario movie. You know, everybody says like his voice is so good. It's gonna kill, you know, but like I know that all I'm gonna see when I see Mario is Chris Pratt. The entire movie. I'm not gonna be able to picture anything else. So like having a talented cast where they can like kind of disguise who they are is kind of cool. But yeah, you do kind of want to like I can see what you mean, where you want to like kind of tie it to somebody that you like, you enjoy or you like.
Yeah, I think like voice actors, people who are primarily voice actors, like that's what they do with their career. Like for instance, Christopher Sabat, who's the voice director for the English dub of Dragon Ball Z, he voices like half of that cast, but like each character is like distinct and like different.
Also, he said my name. Right?
Oh yeah.
And Stephen
name.
Root is also one of those voice actors that's very versatile in that way. I'm not saying that any of it was bad. I knew that there was like a great voice cast and I couldn't pick them out, and I'm a dumb baby for not being able to do that.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that.
No, I know what you're saying.
But it's the movie's fault.
I think the counterpoint to that is that like instead of having a tie to a specific, you know, because it's like you're watching The Revenant and stuff. You're like, okay, that's Leo. Like I know that's Leo who's in the movie, and it is kind of nice to have that like separation of like it makes the characters like individual from the actors, if that makes sense. I understand what you mean, especially with like fun like animation. It kind of does help sometimes to like tie it to somebody that you are familiar with.
Like Wreck-It Ralph and John C. Reilly. That's like the perfect. It's like animation versus like the guy who's doing the voice, and it's like, oh yeah, that I can see that visual match.
It's actually funny because like the one person in the cast you would think would put on like some weird goofy accent from this cast, Johnny Depp, doesn't really. He just kind of talks like
he has a little bit of an affectation.
A little bit, but it's not.
He does
that
a voice.
People, we've talked about this. Acting is reacting. Victor, you were wooden. There, I said it. Mr. Timms, you were good.
Which I really like. Like I really like his performance in this. I think he's very Don Nazi. That's who Rango reminds me of.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And I was watching this, and like we watched Nightmare on Elm Street. Well, I guess we didn't watch the one that he was in for the show, but I watched that one.
Cup, by the way.
And then like
you said Don Nazi.
Yeah.
Yeah, who'd you guys think I was talking about? That actor guy? I was talking about Hitler's dad.
Don Nazi.
Hitler's dad, Don Nazi.
That's where he got the name.
I don't know why. A German guy named Don is like the funniest thing to me in the world.
It's like DAHN.
Yeah.
Don.
Yeah. Ghost of Mr. Chicken. Put that in the cup.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah,
100%.
yeah, absolutely.
Great movie.
Yeah, I'll write that down. Yeah.
I didn't get my grandma to tune in. She'd love that.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it on VHS for sure.
I put the note that I put is that like my like the Depp bell curve, because I remember like Pirates came out like early 2000s, and it was like he was everywhere, and like, you know, I was like, yeah, Johnny Depp, he's great, he's awesome. And then like after a few years it started to wane, and then like, and I'm saying I kind of fell with the general crowd, where it's like, okay, Johnny Depp, stop doing wacky characters, stop being in and I'm not saying I'm gonna like, now that I like watch this again, I'm gonna go out and watch like The Lone Ranger or The Tourist or something like that. But like I just remember kind of falling off of like the wagon, being like, okay, dude, you're kind of played out, just but now like I'm kind of back on it. Like I haven't watched it since we started the show, but you know, thinking about Pirates again and watching this again, I really liked him in the first Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm I really like Johnny Depp, and I really do like how good of like a character actor he is, and like I think that I was tying that back into me saying that I really like his performance in this.
I'm talking about Don Nazi.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how he got off track. That's right.
He also reprises his role as Raoul Duke
yeah.
Oh yeah.
from Fear and Loathing.
Oh yeah, that little
yeah.
cameo they had when he splatted on the windshield.
Yeah, it's pretty
Right.
good. I was very happy with that.
I thought you would be.
There's like 2 hours before I watched this movie, I was scrolling. I think it was Instagram, and there was like a video of Johnny Depp sitting in a chair in a room with like a glass of whiskey, with a guy behind him wearing a mask and everything, and Johnny Depp wasn't making masks. That was I only point that out because that was the entire comment section was a politicization, whatever.
Politicalization.
Mask and
of masking. But to me, I didn't care about any of that. But he was like having his hair done, and he's drinking a glass of whiskey, listening to like his own music, and he's like sitting in the chair like.
That's pretty sweet.
And just like
Pimp. Absolute pimp.
zoning out. Yeah. And obviously it's like some kind of publicist like filming him with his own phone to like upload it, and I was just like, oh, okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, we don't have to get too far into it, but I know Johnny Depp as an actor has kind of had a few setbacks over the last few years.
Yeah.
But then I think he was kind of like vindicated in all of that, and people are like, actually, maybe Johnny was the victim of abuse.
Maybe kind of semi-publicly, but not professionally, because Amber Heard is still like not canceled, and he is by like videos at least.
Is lame.
Yeah.
Because he got kicked out of like the Harry Potter movie, which honestly, with J.K. Rowling's shit, might be a better career move for him.
That's true. Yeah.
He's like, be mad at her instead.
Oh. Okay, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you guys were talking about the adult themes in this, and I was thinking it's not quite like Shrek, where Shrek feels like a kid's movie with like little adult jokes in it. I feel like this is more an adult movie with like kid stuff in it. Like that's kind of like to appeal, like oh, it's animation and it's goofy stuff, but like it feels like an adult like animated movie.
Yeah, I would agree.
100% agree. And I think that's why this movie is stuck with me for so long, because like it's there's like burp jokes and like there is stuff for kids. But yeah, it feels very like mature for a Nickelodeon movie.
Like that whole he's the only color in the whole like visually color. The whole movie is like dull looking.
Yeah.
That scene when they're like I don't know, they make like a prostate joke and then they go on with it for like a good minute, and then it ends with the doctor putting a glove on. Like that.
Yeah.
And then there's
he's like his valve's broken or something.
Yeah, he's got a bad valve.
Yeah, and he comes in and he's like, who needs a checkup or whatever, and then it cuts to that one little like horned toad dude, and he's looking like the gloved hand is in the foreground still, like with the pointer finger like extended, and you see the horned toad in the background, and he's like, what exactly are we gonna do?
One blind, one with enlarged prostate, riding side saddle.
What'd he say? They're riding side saddle.
What?
Shh, we're whispering. What'd he say?
Someone's got a bad valve.
All right, which one of you fellers need to check up?
Awkward.
What exactly are we gonna do now?
Like, you think that he's gonna ask about the glove finger, but no, he's like, it's so good. I was laughing so hard.
Yeah. And then there's the other one when I think they're making a plan or something, and I think he refers to a diagram as a mammogram.
Yeah, that was another one.
The just another joke that I found really funny is they're sitting around the campfire and Rango's talking about something and then he like pulls his shirt up. I think he says it's like a scar, but it's his belly button.
That's
and, like the dude like messes with it and he's like, there's a belly button.
Look at that, baby. Go ahead, you can touch it.
Oh, that's interesting. There's a belly button.
That is
Yeah.
my favorite joke of this whole movie. Like I cried when I first saw that, and like I laughed pretty hard every time after because it's so like he's telling this really in-depth story, and he's like, "Yep, that snake bit me right here. I got the scar to show it." And he lifts up his shirt, and you just see a belly button. And the dude next to him puts his finger in his belly button, like pulls out some lint, and he's like, "There's a belly button." And then it just goes on. Like nobody comments about that.
Going, yeah.
Nobody says anything. So it's like the fact that they're like, "Wait, that's a belly button, not a scar," or the fact that he just fingered his belly button.
Yeah.
They just keep moving on. I laughed
we
so
just
hard.
won't
at
think
that.
too much about that.
Yeah, I was dying.
I say that so much. Like since that movie came out, I say that there's a belly button about a lot of things.
Sweet. Okay, the thing I kept wanting to mention is there was a part and did any of you guys think of our Avengers at it, where it's when Rango first meets Beans and she's talking about like her dad's ranch, and then he like grabs a jar because he's like looking for water and he starts to drink it, and she's like, "That's his ashes."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, "Is this what you want to be? Drinking your granddad out of a cup?"
Yeah.
And it's funny that
Or
he's like,
whatever that
when he
is.
tastes it, he's like, "Oh, it's spicy."
Yeah. But then the joke
Spicy.
ends up being it's his cigarette butt ashes.
Yeah.
Which is
Oh
a
yeah,
good
yeah.
subversion.
Yeah. I think I wrote when the movie ended, I think I like the whole movie, but I think the third act of this movie is perfect. I fucking love the final like 30-40 minutes of this movie. It's so fucking good. And it could just be because I'm a sucker for westerns and like western tropes, western movie tropes. But like Rattlesnake Jake and On is fucking awesome. Yeah. I think Rattlesnake Jake is the best character in the movie. As much as I love Rango, I absolutely love Bill Nighy's voice. Like he sounds like Bill Nighy, but he changes it a little bit. He kind of slows it down a little bit. And every goddamn line that Rattlesnake Jake has in there is fucking great.
They think you're gonna save their little town. They think you're gonna save their little souls. But we know better, don't we?
It's a really simple, but it's like, you know, he shows up and he exposes Rango. Rango has the like vision with the spirit of the West, and then he figures out what's going on, comes back. The standoff with Rattlesnake Jake is awesome. The cinematography in that scene is great. Like it's set up. It follows a lot of like Western movie tropes and whatever, but I think it's so good, and I just love the character of Rattlesnake Jake.
Yeah,
and like I love that he like has this like code, and like as soon as Rango bests him, he's like, "All right,
it's a begrudging acknowledgement."
Fuck this, yeah.
I thought that like just even the character design of Rattlesnake Jake was great. He's got like a tiny little mustache.
Yeah. And the machine gun rattletail.
Instead of having a tail, he's got a machine gun. His eyes are like fucking incredible, which is another thing that we should touch on is like I think this was 2011. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a very visually stunning movie.
Right. Like, I mean, not necessarily
really well.
the characters all the time, but like some of the scenery stuff is like, if you remove like the animated characters out of it, it would be hard to tell between like, you know, like a Planet Earth documentary or something.
Yeah.
Like when they're going through
it's crazy.
Like the underground, like tunnelways or whatever, and they have like that wide shot of them stepping. It kind of looks like Lord of the Rings almost.
Oh yeah.
That looks.
I thought of Lord of the Rings too. They're like hopping over the little gap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
I got like big Mad Max vibes when they were doing the initial, like they got the water from the moles and then the bats and like the bat chase with the moles and like all of that like through the desert. I know you mentioned cinematography. Did you see who was the cinematographer for this movie?
Was it Roger Deakins?
It's Roger Deakins.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Which I read that and I'm like, but this is an animated movie. Like my brain has problems like processing like how you convert like cinematography in like physical spaces to cinematography in like three-dimensional spaces. Obviously Roger Deakins knows what he's doing because the film was very, very, like you said, that sort of realistic quality / like epic quality of like the action set pieces. It's Roger Deakins knows what he's doing, but it's just funny to see his name on an animated movie when it's just like he usually does. I mean, he did like Blade Runner 2049. He did like No Country for Old Men. A bunch
Like
of
every
Coen Brothers
Coen
shit,
brother.
actually.
I think he's done. It's like ever since. I don't know if he started with like Blood Simple, but whichever one he started with, I'm pretty sure he's done like every single one except for like 1 or 2.
Looks like, I think, Barton Fink. First of 12 collaborations with the Coens.
Jeez.
Yeah. And he did 1917, which was a more recent one that was very good, very well shot.
No,
yeah, Roger Deakins is the man.
the stuff with Rattlesnake Jake,
Keyword shot.
when he first like comes in, and like as soon as he comes in, he just starts ripping apart Rango, and it gets like super serious and like almost really sad because he's just like tearing him apart, and Rango's like, yeah, it's true, and it's like it gets really real.
Yeah. And I think that's why like I love how I love like the juxtaposition of when Rattlesnake Jake first shows up and he just dresses down Rango, and just Rango walks away in shame. You know, he's like, he thinks he's done. And then when like Rango comes back and it's like the complete opposite, and Rattlesnake Jake's like, all right, I'm gonna fucking kill him this time.
Yeah.
And he's like, what, I think Rango's like, put her down, and he's like, oh, what are you gonna do? Shoot me? And he goes, that's just about the size of it. And then you see Rattlesnake Jake kind of like, for a second, like, oh fuck.
Yeah, like
he's
react.
changed.
Yeah.
He did, because like that's sort of a setup earlier is just like he like looks him in the eyes and he's like, you don't have the eyes for it, and then
he makes him like put the gun in his face.
Yeah, and then like he comes back and actually does it, and I feel like you can see Rattlesnake Jake's eyes like dilate just a little bit, and he's like, oh, okay, you've come back a different lizard.
Yeah.
Like you're legit now.
Yeah, because there's the part where he finally like he gets him, and he's like pointing the gun at him, and he's like, he says to him, he's like, you ain't got killer in you, and he's like, he says like, just try me or something like that, and that's where Rattlesnake Jake is like, okay, I concede.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
The other scene, Rattlesnake Jake, when he's like he wraps beans up.
Now hold on, Jake. There's no need. Let me do my job. You brought me in now. We're gonna play this thing out to the end. Sign the damn paper, woman.
Go to hell.
Where do you think I come from? Look into my eyes. I wanna see you die.
That scene is so tough. I fucking love that.
Yeah. I love everything about Rattlesnake Jake. Like you said, like the character design, every line he has, and I like his like little arc.
Right. Yeah. I thought it was really cool how they had the like thing of how his heart was like in a chest, and they had to like, go.
I also noted that it's a Pirates reunion because it's Johnny Depp versus Bill Nighy.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And Gore Verbinski.
Oh, is that
And Gore Verbinski, yeah.
you better believe in him now. You're in one. Is that him?
No, it's Davy Jones.
Davy Jones.
Oh, I have not seen those in a long time.
Oh, okay.
You asshole.
You fucking dipshit.
You complete
Why don't you just fucking hop on the B train and go home?
Yeah. Hop on any of the A
yeah.
through
No, I'm
Z
looking at him
trains
now. I
and
see
just get fucked.
Dude, fuck, dude. Hop on the
the
G
A
train
through
and
Hop on
get
the F
fucked.
train and get fucked.
Dude, the
Oh no, the hard ass line from that scene with Beans. She tells him to go to hell, and he just go immediately. He's like, "Where do you think I come from?"
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then it's like you can see his eyes are just like He might even say like, "Look into my eyes" or something. But his eyes really do look like fire.
Yeah,
like, they
they're
look
like that red, yellow, orange.
Yeah, they're so, and it's crazy because like maybe not rattlesnakes themselves, but like the idea of rattlesnakes is like it is like a pretty scary thing. Like they're probably one of those things where it's like, oh, they're actually really nice if you don't step on them when you're walking on the trail or something.
They're more
like that.
afraid
They're
of
really,
you than you are of them.
Yeah.
It's more just that they're everywhere out there. That was like anytime you go like off of the road out, it's like keep an eye out for rattlesnakes. So like you get like accustomed and like that's what you're always looking for.
I feel like that and like scorpions, which I'm surprised there weren't any scorpions in this movie because I feel like
yeah.
I feel like
that's.
Oh no, sorry. Go ahead.
That's maybe a little bit harder character. I'm just trying to picture how you would try to design that character. It seems a little
Scorpion.
Weird.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought they did really well with everyone else. They could have figured something out. It would have just been a little more. It probably wouldn't have been a main character, but you know, there was other
supplemental
four-legged
characters,
animals, like Roadkill, which was his name.
That was the first time when I was like, "Oh, this movie's dark." When it shows him like he's like got the tire-sized crater in the side of him. I was like, "Is he like talking? Is he hallucinating this, or is like he dead?"
Yeah, he just says, "Pull my finger." Like,
yeah,
that'll bring him back.
I thought that it was gonna be a fart joke, and I was gonna
pull my finger. The spirit is waiting for me.
Okay. Okay. That's not gonna work.
But then the joke was literally just like, "Oh, pull my finger." Oh, that didn't work in piecing my body back together. That's funny.
I'm still probably going to die.
The other dude that has a fucking arrow through his head. And then when Rango's like, he's like, "Oh, you got something in your eye there," and then he just like pulls his other eye open, and he's like, "Yeah, it's what does he call? What does he say it is?
Conjunctivitis."
Yeah, conjunctivitis.
No, it's genetic or something like that.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I was gonna say earlier, I didn't pay attention to this because I didn't think about it until just now, but I know they make like the rattlesnake noise for Rattlesnake Jake, but the fact that he doesn't have an actual rattlesnake tail, that he has like a Gatling gun. Do they make it sound more like metal sounding because it's like metal or like bullets clinking together?
It sounds like a Gatling gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rattlesnake tail's more like a rain stick or something. Like that.
Because
it's a different kind of sound.
It's like when he makes the noise when he like the guns like twist. He'll just like
right.
Okay.
Yeah. It speaks to the character design. Like it almost seems like somebody came up with that character design and they're like, I got a bad guy for a animated movie. We just gotta like build a plot around this guy.
I gotta write this movie around this cool dude that I made
It's
up.
fucking brilliant.
And he doesn't show up until like
the third act,
an hour 10. Yeah, the third act. Like he's not in it at all. And then they just like call in Rattlesnake Jake.
To. He's like, "Oh, you killed that bird, so now Rattlesnake Jake will come back."
Right.
But again, that's another common thing. Like it makes me think of High Noon. With the movie with Gary Cooper and Grace Kelly, where like the whole movie is him basically like this dude just got out of jail that he put away, and he's coming to town at noon to kill Gary Cooper, and the whole time it's like this big build up to like this dude, and like the main villain of that movie isn't in it until like the last scene pretty much, and that's kind of, but it's a very like. The movie builds up to it so well, and like the scenes with that character in High Noon are so good. Scenes with that character are so good, and like that's how Rattlesnake Jake feels. It's like he's a very heavy present character, even though he's not in it for that much, really.
So, we've been talking a lot of positives. I'm gonna talk about something negative here for a second.
Okay.
It's kind of like fucked up. Like they get all the water and shit, but like that. If you think about it, like that's the collapse of their like entire economy happening. because their entire economy is water based, and then all of a sudden, so they're gonna be getting like that's basically COVID like relief funds or whatever, like the unemployment benefits and the what did they call those, the whatever, everybody got a stimulus bonus thing. I forget what the actual official name is for it, but they basically got COVID relief funds, and now their whole entire system is inflated. So like,
yeah, they just have literally like money shooting out of the ground. Like they just have geysers.
Right. So everything is worthless now, but
everyone's rich.
Also,
I mean, this is where like I guess it being a kids movie kind of comes into play, and I mean also even if it wasn't, a lot of movies have kind of fairy tale endings where it's just like they beat the bad guy, they solved their issue. Let's not worry about. Let's not go into the economical like fallout of all.
Everyone's socioeconomic status is just I don't know what.
Yeah,
I disagree. If you're gonna have adult themes in it, you gotta be consistent.
Commit
and
to
it. You gotta. This movie should have been 3 hours long, and the last half hour should have been them like fixing their economy and like structuring it on something else.
I mean, it's sort of like literally and figuratively destroyed the town because the water gushed out of all of the buildings and destroyed everything.
Yeah, so
that was one. I did want like a shot of Rango being like, "Oh shit!" Like I thought that would have fit his character. Like, "Oh, I didn't know it was gonna destroy everything."
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to move to that town that the mayor was building, anyways.
So is dirt? Is that what it's called? Dirt is the town.
Yeah.
So is that supposed to be like an allegory now for like Soviet Russia? It's just like this is what happens when the playing field is entirely leveled and like your economy, everyone is like.
I thought it was because it was the desert. And
no, I'm following Travis's. I'm following Travis's logic here.
Okay.
Where it's like now that there's like the value of currency is like nothing. Everyone is like on a level playing field.
Hyperinflation.
Yeah.
No, I actually, and I was going to not reference this, but it's hard not to. All I could picture was like Trumpism the entire movie, and I feel like I'm the one who always brings this up, but like it's a bunch of dumb fucking hicks, and then this colorful quote unquote celebrity comes like dancing into town. Yeah,
this
like
fucking neoliberal Rango.
Right. And he's like, "Oh, I did this and I did this and I did that," and they're like, "You sure did.
You sure did. You don't have to prove anything.
You sure did.
Oh,
you're gonna make
this
us all rich."
Homo suburban lib brunch eating Rango.
Birkenstock rocking.
My name's Don Nazi, and I'm here to be sheriff.
All y'all gonna listen to me or else. Speaking of that, one of the sheriffs, the dead sheriffs.
Oh, I took note of some of these too.
What was the one that?
Or there's some Easter eggs of who the dead sheriffs were.
No, not who they were, but just like what they said.
One of them said, "Hold my beer and watch," because it said like Thursday through sheriff. Thursday
I noticed
through
that
Saturday.
one. Yeah,
one of them was "Hold my beer and watch this." I thought that one was really good.
There was another one that just said "Oops," and then there was another one that said "He's dead, Jim," which is from Star Trek.
Yeah,
that's
nice.
The one that said Thursday through Saturday made me think that it's like they have extremely short lifespans, so everything in this movie took place in a course of like 10 minutes in real time.
No, it's that. Well,
no, I know it was like it was when he became sheriff to when he like died, but I was just
you're saying
from when he was born to when he died.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so like the sheriff who was Thursday through Friday, that was actually like a full life. That was an entire lifespan. Yeah. It's all a matter of perspective.
1,000 lives.
Yeah.
I thought another Pirates reference, which again, I wouldn't like think of these so much. No, but you know, it is the same director after all. But no, when he gets like carried to the Spirit of the West's place by like the pillbugs or whatever, just like when Jack Sparrow was in Davy Jones's locker in At World's End, and he's like being carried along by all the crabs, and it's like a white vast desert.
Yeah.
And that's like it's really similar visually to that.
Same when Jack Sparrow is in like purgatory in that like island desert thing. It could be,
that's what I mean.
Yeah, the same. Yeah. Oh shit. Is that the?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah. That's the Davy Jones Locker's like purgatory.
Okay.
Man, I haven't seen these movies in a while. This sounds absolutely crazy.
I know if somebody has only ever seen the first Pirates, like there's some like there's the zombie pirates obviously, but like you talk about the stuff in the sequels and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like it gets so crazy.
But then in like while you're watching it, it's like, oh yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. It just like slowly like amplifies the craziness till you're like numb to like how crazy it actually is.
I would say it jumps pretty high as like the first time you see the Flying Dutchman and the crew. You're like, okay, now there's like tentacle faced bad guys and with very weird accents.
It's kind of like The Matrix and its subsequent trilogies, where each one makes the previous one look more grounded in reality than the other one.
Visually, there's this scene where I think he's talking to the mayor, Rango, and it's like a big like open desert, flat ass desert with like this little boat, like shell of a boat sticking out, and he's like, this used to be like full of water and stuff like that, and I was like, this is a ripoff of Holes, and Rango is
I also thought of
yellow
Holes.
spotted lizard, like yellow spotted lizard. And like I was just like looking on the horizon. I was just hoping I would see like a Holes reference of just like a guy shoveling or something.
I thought exactly. Yeah, the Mary-Lou boat.
Yeah, Mary-Lou.
Yeah. He ripped off a lot of movies in this movie.
Yeah.
Or reference. I mean, I didn't.
Any of the Pirates ones are fine, I guess, since he made.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I looked up him, what else he directed. I didn't know he directed Pirates when I started watching this today. And then what also blew my mind is that he directed Mouse Hunt and The Ring, which is fucking
Mouse
wild.
Hunt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Nathan Lane?
My God.
Yeah.
That was his directorial debut. I watched that movie.
Oh, I didn't know that was his debut.
I watched that movie so much as a kid.
I used to love that movie.
Throw that in the cup.
It's a good movie. The string cheese.
Kalia said she watched it recently, and it's like terrible. Like it doesn't hold up.
Oh
What?
no!
I watched it like maybe
still put it
2
in the
years
cup,
ago, and I think it's all right.
I would be interested in watching it either way.
There's the guy who's in basically that, and There's Something About Mary, and then Nathan Lane.
Yeah, I know
I
the
think it's
other
alright.
the other brother or whatever. Yeah,
You know what, Kalia? I respectfully disagree. I think Mouse Hunt holds up.
Oh, perfect. She's right here. Travis says he respectfully disagrees. He thinks Mouse Hunt holds up.
Okay.
She just said okay.
Did you hear that?
That's a perfect response.
Okay, go fuck yourself. I don't care.
I mean, that's like also respectful, but it's also like you can tell there's layers under that. Where she's like, no, you're a fucking idiot.
I don't know.
fucking
If
idiot,
buy
but-
that with a response.
But respectfully, okay.
I thought the music was pretty good. I think the soundtrack was pretty good.
Yeah.
That's it's something I wanted to talk about.
One of my favorite Marty Robbins songs was in this, but it was
Clearwater.
covered by. It's the Hank Williams version, which is much slower and sadder, and I guess more fitting for the scene because the original Marty Robbins song "Cool Water" is it's a little more up tempo, but this I noticed it almost immediately because that was when they all like got like they stood in the thing and like did their water dance or whatever.
Yeah,
but
I like that song too.
It's a really good song.
That's in Buster Scruggs too.
That version or the
no, it's actually like they what's his name? Tim Blake Nelson sings. Sings
nice.
it, like,
okay,
in character.
Gotcha.
You
Very
can-
thematically perfect for that scene.
Yeah.
I didn't want to bring this up because I don't want to shit on the movie too much, and be too like 2022 woke. But there's a lot of like kind of racially edgy shit in this, with it's like when he's talking to the even when there's a line when he says, what's that darn Indian doing over there, or something like that. And then then like whenever he talks to the Native American character, he's like, do you need to consult with a buffalo or touch the ground or anything like that?
No, the one. Okay,
they didn't
I
do
get
brown face like they did in the TV show, but they did like stereotype it like pretty hard.
Yeah,
I was like, at least they had an act like a Native American actor play the Native American character stereotype. I mean, it's a crow, it's not a Native American, but we know what it's supposed to be. And they had like Hispanic actors playing the Hispanic stereotypes or not archetypes or whatever, their characters, whatever.
I mean, it's the Western tropes in general. It's unavoidable with those types of movies.
Yeah,
and I
guess my read was,
I'm aware of it, but
I feel like the Native American character was more like I guess more similar to like the guy from Parks and Rec, that kind of like feeds into it and is just like, he's like, if there's one thing I know about white people, like they something, and then like they hate curses. And I feel like the Native American character was played straight, and like the jokes were meant to show that like the people, I think it was obvious that the joke wasn't like making fun of Native Americans, but it was just like, look at these like dumb white people who don't understand and are like, oh, this is what I've heard because all I know is like dumb stereotypes.
Yeah,
that
could be.
That's kind of, that was like my read-ish on it.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna go let my cat out. Hold on.
No, back to the music. The mariachi band is like my favorite, one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Yeah.
It's just like when they come in and they narrate, and also the music they play is fucking awesome too.
All day I've been in my head and going, Rango.
No, see, that's the part that I don't like, because that's...
Oh, you don't like the mariachi?
I don't like the mariachi band, maybe because that's the part that, like I said last week, yeah, that was last week, right? Yeah. When I worked at Barnes & Noble, I'm pretty sure it was, like,
that's like what you heard the most?
Right, it was the thing that stood out the most.
Gotcha.
And it's funny because I'm pretty sure that there was the Woodland Mall Celebration theater that played like old movies, and I'm pretty sure I went and saw Rango, and then like within a week, it was like the movie that was being played in the movie and music department, which was like my department. So I was like locked into that small little area. It's not like it was just playing in like a corner of the store and I would walk by and it would be playing. It was like the thing in my area. So it was like constantly being like, so yeah, I heard
it's on repeat.
Travis is just in the bathroom curled in a ball crying. Rango.
Yeah. It's like the only place where I could find some like solace and privacy. But then as soon as somebody would open the door to take a
solace
piss,
in the Barnes & Noble bathroom. Every time I'm in a Barnes & Noble, I never find solace in the bathroom.
That's true. One time I was taking a shit, and
every time I go to Barnes & Noble, man, every time.
Well, that's the
there
thing.
was a dude who like we were talking about the curtain peek thing earlier. He did that through the like stall door, and I like looked up at him, and we just like made eye contact. And I was like, bro.
And it was the Barnes & Noble CEO, and he was like, Rango!
Ran out of the room.
I was like, dude, if you're still in this fucking bathroom when I get out of here, we're fighting. I don't care if I lose my job.
Nobody's allowed to make eye contact with me while I'm shitting and live.
Yeah. Like, let me wash my hands first, but after that, we're fighting.
Then I'm going to wash my hands on your face.
Yeah.
The
blood.
You know, I guess that's a thing. That's like they have like they have a name for it, because I guess it's a common thing for when people go to bookstores specifically, they immediately have to go shit. That's like a common thing.
It happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, especially because there's a Starbucks in the one that I worked at. Most of them actually. So it's like
it's the smell of books and coffee.
And coffee, yeah. It's like they if you don't shit just by going in there, they're like, go have some coffee, and then we'll see what's going on. And what's the perfect thing to do when you're taking a shit? Read.
I don't.
And it's kind of like
I take unpurchased merchandise into the bathroom so I can.
What if Excuse me for trying to talk about the movie again.
I like the movie. I don't have a ton to say. The visuals were great. The music was great.
It's wrap up time anyway, so.
I was just gonna say, would you have liked that aspect of the movie better, Travis, if
Which
the
aspect?
mariachi, the mariachi, like the whole, like the narration, all that, if instead of those guys it was dragon sound?
Jesus, dude.
I'm very picky about my exposition.
As long as they weren't like just, as long as they weren't just like talking like the dudes from There's Something About Mary.
Oh, they talk like Mark from Miami Connection.
That's what it felt like. It was very There's Something About Mary. But instead of talking, if it was like, oh, but when is he going to die? Oh, he's gonna die very soon. If it instead of that, it was the actual like music video interludes that they do in Miami Connection. Yeah, I fuck with that hard.
Where they're not even
time.
fucking playing guitar; they're just holding it.
Right. I'm a big advocate for like 90-minute movies. Like,
I don't know why you sound angry about that, Dagan.
I'm fucking pissed about that, dude. I'm so mad I missed that fucking podcast, dude. I would shit all over those fucking music. I hated that shit. So there was 3 guitarists. None of them were actually besides like there was 4 of them. No, this is the wrong movie.
wow,
Sorry.
there's a bass guitar.
One of them was a bass.
Pencil neck guy.
A lot of live bands have a rhythm, and then you have your lead guitarist. So
Yeah, Foo Fighters actually have 3 guitarists. So
yeah.
Well, Foo Fighters should go by Dragon Sound.
Maybe
and
you should
with
go
that,
by Dragon, the sound of Dragon D's nuts.
On your fuck, yeah, hell yeah.
Oh, second time.
With that,
yeah.
Let's wrap up this movie that we watched,
wrap
Miami
up.
Connection.
Yeah. I did score first last time, so someone else do it. I feel like I've done it first like the last couple times.
Okay. I've seen this movie like 1 billion times on a repetitive thing. I was not necessarily looking forward to it because of that fact. But it has been 10 years probably, because as soon as I left, or that I don't know if I left Barnes & Noble or if the movie left Barnes & Noble first. I'm not sure. But
that's how
I
you
have
measure time.
Right. I haven't seen it since then. I know that. It was kind of like a bad nostalgia thing, like a trauma thing. Like, I need a content warning before you drew out of the cup last week. But yeah, actually rewatching it, I'm like, yeah, no, I remember why I like this movie. Because like I said, I saw it in the theater and I was like, yeah, this movie's good. And then it was like, they were like, oh, Rango's the movie for this quarter. And I was like, fucking sweet. That movie's great. I can't wait. And then after 2.5 months of it, I was like, but yeah, I enjoyed it. It's funny. Animation's good. It's maybe a little bit long. I feel like it takes a little too long to get to the third act, which is like the good part, kind of. I feel like I've
10 minutes, a little, yeah, be a little shorter maybe.
I've seen the first like hour of this. It seems like the most clearly, because it's like we'd open the store, it'd be 9 o'clock. We'd open the store and I'd push play. And nobody would come into the store for the first hour that we were open. So it was like, that was the time that I saw the most of.
Just an endless loop.
Right. And then, yeah, we'd get a rush for the last half of the movie. And then...
Because your customers would come in to watch Rattlesnake Jake.
right.
They know when that third act's about to hit.
It's 10:15. We have to go to Barnes & Noble. We're going to miss the third act.
They're at Panda Express in the food court. And they're like, damn, it's about time... Yeah, it's about time for Rattlesnake Jake. Let's pop on over, take a shit, and watch Rattlesnake Jake. So
leave a Rattlesnake Jake in the toilet.
I hiss while I take a shit.
My butthole sounds like a Gatling gun whenever I shit.
That's why the guy was peeking in on you. He heard a Gatling gun, and he's like, "Is this guy okay?" The guy just shit out a baby rattle.
Baby rattle, nice. I think I'm gonna say 8. I laughed pretty hard at a few things. Anything that can make me laugh as hard as the belly button line did, like, yeah, I think it's an 8. I think.
Okay, I'll hop on after that because I think when this movie originally came out, I think I just thought it was another. I don't know what else was coming out at the time like that. I feel like there was like a lot
Shrek
of
3.
animated movies around like 2011, like the Minions, Despicable Me, whatever, like all those other movies. I think I just sort of in my brain lumped this one in with all of those other ones. I was like, yeah, it's a lizard cartoon animated movie for babies, like whatever, I don't care.
Yeah.
So like I never watched it. This is my first time seeing this movie ever. And yeah, I was very surprised how early on I realized that this was like we said earlier, like an adult movie with jokes for kids sprinkled in, so you could probably label it as a kids movie, but really it's kind of not. I didn't necessarily like laugh out loud. It was more like huh, like whenever there was like a clever thing or a clever joke. It was more of like oh, okay, that's pretty clever. I think a lot of the animation in it was like absolutely gorgeous, like the detail on his eyes and like the chameleon skin and like the different fur and like all that kind of shit. I feel like it was very striking how pretty it was for a movie from 2011 with like how far animation has come since then. This holds up really, really well. Yeah, I guess anything, and it's in my dumb brain was just like I wanted more of a connection with the voice actors. I couldn't tell who anyone was. So it was a 7. It's pretty good. Didn't make me laugh out loud a lot, but it was very clever, and it's up in that, I guess, upper echelon of like animated movies that are timeless, and it's mostly because they're more adult than children's movies.
But it also seems like it's one of those that are timeless, but it's also like a little bit under the radar. It's not like one that pops to mind like right away.
Well, plus it's like a
deep
it's
cut.
a Nickelodeon movie. It's not
Right.
Disney, you know. That could have been why, because it just like compared to Disney, those are like just not focused on as much. But interestingly, this did win. It was like in like the past like 15 years or whatever. It's like one of 3 non-Disney Pixar movies to win the Academy Award for animated.
Oh, nice.
Feature.
I will say it's better than Mouse Hunt. Mouse Hunt holds up, but that I'm not saying that Mouse Hunt is like an elite movie or anything. You know, it's like a 6. It's just that it doesn't ruin it, is what I meant when I said it holds up.
Yeah.
So make sure you tell Kalia that. I wasn't.
Okay.
Pass the message on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go next.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I love this movie. I think we saw it in theaters when it came out as like a, you know, just a date night. Let's go see a movie. What's playing? It's Rango. And
You and TJ?
Me and you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say too.
Yeah, we had full intentions of just making out the whole movie, but then we actually enjoyed it. No, yeah, like I wasn't expecting much when I first saw it, like back when it came out, and then I was like laughing out loud in the theater, and then every time I've watched it since then, I'll randomly put it on, I feel like every few years, and it still makes me laugh out loud each time. Like I know the jokes are coming and I still laugh out loud. And there's even some stuff that like I didn't pick up on before that makes me laugh now, because I don't know, just looking at it more. And like TJ said before, like the performances were fucking awesome. Like even the smallest stuff, when like Bad Billy first comes into that bar that Rango's in, and Rango like eats his cigarette and then burps, and it's just fire on his face, and then he's like slapping him with the rag, and like the little sounds.
That part made me laugh.
The little sounds like Rango's making when he's like, oh, whoops, here we go, and like just doing that, like little stuff like that makes me laugh. And like we've all said, the animation is absolutely incredible. Cinematography is great. Yeah, I love this movie, and I think I always will. I'm gonna give this a 10.
Nice.
It's funny because the rag slapping, fire putting out scene, that is like when I was saying earlier that it feels like an adult movie with kid things in it. Like that is the part that I was picturing in my head that was like a kid. Oh, whoop,
yeah,
yeah. No.
And it's just funny that
like, the burp is, but I also like the slapping. I thought was funny.
It was just like the sound effect. Yeah, it's obviously like my kid brain loves that.
Yeah.
Well, apparently there was some controversy about this movie for like the depiction of smoking. Like apparently there was like a thing because
I didn't even consider that.
I think if you put smoking in movies now, I don't know if it's like an automatic like you have to rate it R or whatever. But
PG-13 at least. Or
yeah,
something.
there's some sort of like law now where you have to put it in the description like rated PG for smoking and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If it's vaping, it's G though.
Going into this, I was I think like I'm ending up going higher than I was expecting, as much as I do like this movie, or I knew I liked this, but again, doing this show and like really looking at these movies more analytically than I ever have before, it really made me appreciate especially that final act, which again I think is just fucking perfect. The dialogue throughout is really clever. It's really smartly written. There's so many like back and forth rapid fire lines that, like I said, like all the like double meanings and stuff that like I feel like I caught jokes for the first time on this watching that I hadn't caught before, which is always cool to have. So everything you guys said, and I guess I said too, like the performances are great, especially Rango and Rattlesnake Jake. And with that final act being so strong, I'm gonna go with a 9 for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
You guys ever think about the fact that Gore's name is actually just like a violent act? It's like being named Stab Verbinski.
Yeah, I thought his name was gonna be pronounced like Jorge or something.
Oh God,
Gore.
Anything but gore.
Yeah.
Yeah, like John.
There's so many things.
Gored me.
Gore is like like being stabbed by like a bullhorn, but it's also like like a gory movie.
Yeah,
who
named?
Yeah,
what comes
damn
out.
It, that's where I was gonna go next. I was gonna be like, have you guys seen The Ring? Is that a gory movie?
Yeah, that like
maybe that's the G train. Maybe the G train is Gore
train. Oh, why did they name him Gore? Like, what the fuck was the? I'd like to meet his parents.
Oh, maybe his
Gorson.
dad has like a really long dick.
Jesus. Pull from the cup, TJ. Let's end this now.
I mean, I could ruin it and say like that's not his actual name. I'll just say that.
It's not. It's like a stage name.
Mom was like, "You gored me."
His name's Gregor. So
he goes by Gore. Okay.
Yeah. I guess he has the big dick.
If he's gonna change his first name, you should change that last name too. That's not a very good stage last name.
I think it's a good last name.
Not as good as Nazi.
It works with the name. Okay, I'll
Gore Vidal.
I'll speed run.
Gore,
I'm gonna speed run our post chat.
Gore Nazi.
Because it's nothing that can really be. It's not really like conversation starter, but relevant to the movie, I guess, because it's got Bill Nighy in it. There's an Ikiru remake that's coming out really soon with Bill Nighy as the main character.
No.
Yeah, I'm like
no.
I'm curious, but not like optimistically so, I guess. But yeah, it's called Living, which would just be the English translation for Ikiru, pretty much.
Hey,
to live or whatever.
So Gore Verbinski's dad's name is Victor. So yeah, my joke was that he has a really long penis. So his mom was like, "Oh, Victor, you gored me." So it's like
got that.
Yeah. But I'm looking at IMDb, and his dad is of Polish descent. So it's like a Pole. Get it?
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry.
You said you were under the influence when you watched Rank. Did you just watch the movie? Are you still under the influence?
No, but I did drink the rest of this hot stuff.
You sure did.
That's true.
I'm crying at that. Just the gore. Sorry.
And then the other thing,
you say
that's
I have a
pretty-
childish
as
brain
much,
for laughing at stupid shit.
The other thing that's
I
like
didn't
as
say
much
it
of a
was bad.
conversation as that one was. I just thought of this because somebody mentioned Foo Fighters. Did you see that there's like a Foo Fighters movie coming out? That's
No.
like, yeah, it looks
Also no.
so ridiculous, but it's like they're recording like their 10th album, and it stars like all the guys, and like Dave Dave Grohl gets like possessed by this demon or something, and he starts like killing the other members of Foo Fighters or something like that.
I think I've heard about, because isn't it
It's
like
a Tenacious D spinoff?
the studio?
That's what I thought of, kind of. Yeah, that's what it is.
Isn't the studio like haunted or some shit that they record at?
Yeah. That's the idea.
Real quick, another thing that they're like remaking, or not really remaking, but Tim Allen has teamed up with Disney Plus to make a Santa Claus limited TV series.
I did see that.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Santa's
Really?
back. Santa's back.
Yeah.
One more thing. Did you see the Lord of the Rings TV show?
I've heard about it
I know
a million times.
I know it's happening.
I didn't know that was happening, and I haven't watched the trailer yet, but I just heard about it yesterday. And
Did you guys finish? Did you finish them? You and Molly?
No, we made through the first one, but
Oh man, you really just got to go right into that second one.
I know.
'Cause the first one is kind of, it's good, but you're kind of like,
I know.
But the second one, you're like, fuck.
Yeah, I'm really
I gotta
excited
watch
to
the
get
third
to
one
them.
immediately.
I wanted to do the extended version so bad, but I couldn't put her through that for the first time watching.
No.
Fucking 4.5 hours worth of content.
Right, especially when you're not super invested in everything.
Yes.
I'm reading the synopsis of what the Santa Claus limited series is gonna be like, and it's like he's celebrating his 65th birthday, and he realizes that he can't be Santa forever. So it's like I'm just picturing two different ways the show could go down, where it's just like someone tries to kill him, like the assassination of Santa Claus. Or he's just like trying to kill himself, so he doesn't have to do it anymore.
He's still a shitty dad too.
Yeah. Either way, it's gonna be an existential crisis. It's gonna be too serious for a Santa Claus show.
Oh, but the producer who created that Last Man Standing show that Tim Allen was, he's the executive producer and showrunner on this.
Oh Jesus!
So it's like,
oh fuck,
Santa Claus is a blogger, and he's telling the liberals what it's actually like to be Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's gonna ruin the Santa Claus franchise.
They just no. This is what they do. Because didn't Last Man Standing get canceled?
Yeah.
It's like. This is what happens is someone else takes over the role of Santa Claus, so he just goes back to being a normal dude, and he just segues that into making more episodes of Last Man Standing. The first episode is a Santa Claus thing, and then Santa Claus, he passes the torch, and then he's like, okay, well, what am I gonna do now? And then he just keeps doing Last Man Standing for the rest of the series.
That's kind of fucked that Disney Plus picked them up because they got canceled for political reasons. I'm pretty sure it's weird that Disney would take the chance to pick up Tim Allen and that guy as executive producer.
But he's Buzz.
Buzz.
Why didn't they make Jungle 3 Jungle?
Nice.
I like that.
They should bring back Home Improvement.
Yeah, and all three
I'm
sons
surprised there
still
hasn't
live
been a
at
reboot
home.
of that.
Yeah, for real. Like with Fuller House and
fucking How I Met Your Father.
Yeah, that's the other one I was trying to think
barf.
of. Yeah.
Barf with fucking Hillary Duff.
And Sex in the City. Bringing it back.
And Sex of the City.
And
yeah, there we go. We did it.
And Community 3. Community?
Community?
I was trying to make a community joke. Like they brought it back, but they didn't.
They will once Chevy Chase dies.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already dead in the show.
Yeah, but IRL.
Right. Anyway.
Which, with how this year is going, it's probably
we're
going to
losing
come soon.
steam so fast. Let's pull.
I don't
what
know
are we
what's
watching?
going on this episode.
Yeah.
We are watching. watching.
It's a late night episode. That's why. This is
This
maybe,
is Duds.
yeah,
This is
when it
Duds
gets
after
freaky.
dark.
Yeah.
And we're kind of building into doing Jackbox too. So like we already got the raunchy filters are off.
Well, I already tore up the thing, so we're not doing an episode next week.
Oh
Good.
shit!
No.
Finally.
We are watching the 1984 Paris, Texas, directed by Wim Wenders, I think is how you pronounce his name. So since you missed Harry Dean Stanton and Rango, you get to see him in Paris, Texas.
Oh, I'm
week.
so excited! I picked that up on the Criterion sale because I knew it was Harry Dean
nice.
Stanton. Like that's like one of his only leading movies, and like I've heard it's very, very good.
And
It's
Dean
not
Stockwell,
uplifting.
who also passed.
Oh
recently,
yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Dean Stockwell. I love Dean
Nice.
Stockwell.
Oh, you like Dean Stockwell? Nice.
Yeah, Quantum Leap. Fuck yeah, dude.
Fuck yeah.
Oh,
dude.
I didn't know you watched that show. Yeah,
I
that's
love
one of Kalia's
Quantum Leap. Hell
favorite
yeah.
shows.
Quantum Leap
And
fucking slaps.
Blue Velvet. he's got one of the best parts in Blue Velvet.
That's
too.
Have you guys seen the It's funny that
it's on HBO for the audience, by the way.
It's
Paris,
funny
Texas.
that it's Quantum Leap is one of Kalia's favorite shows because Scott Bakula reminds me of her dad like a lot.
I know. Yeah. I say that to her like I have said that to her a lot, especially when he's older. Scott Bakula, like I showed her that episode of It's Always Sunny that he's in.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
And he's
That
in
is so good. It is so good. And he starts singing and it's like I love that episode so much because it's like two of my favorite shows, Quantum Leap and Always Sunny, like collision course. It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like him in that episode too.
Ziggy!
Yeah, did that not come through? I just did that.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Maybe it peeked out. I didn't hear it.
It might
Well,
have.
it'll be in both. It'll be in the pod.
Yeah.
For sure, both of
That's
them.
great.
Yeah. I have the same pitch and resonance as my recorder when I sing, so it doesn't get picked up.
It's filtered it out.
Yeah.
We are on socials. We are on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. Leave us a rating on all those. We got the Facebooks. We've got the Twitters, the Instagrams. We got the TikTok. I'm trying to populate it with stuff, but it's hard. I'm just taking the voice to text clips right now, but I want to start including video from some of these episodes for added effect. But we got TikTok. We got all the things. So follow us and rate us and review us and share us. And that's about it.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't want to be spoiled for Paris, Texas, make sure to watch it before the next episode. Again, it's, at least last I checked, it's on HBO. And without any further ado, I am the much anticipated hero returning to rescue his emotionally unstable maiden, TJ, aka J Spot Jack Cheese.
Emotionally unstable.
I am your literally trickling down economics.
Shit.
Reagan Rango, aka Nick, aka Dr. Funk on Twitch, and with me as always.
As always, I am your Lorette Ann McGovern, who has just been Gore Verbinski'd by Victor. Travis, aka the Super General.
It's gonna ride that one into the sunset.
Hell yeah.
And with Gore Verbinski, as always, I am your Gatling gunned butthole, Deegs.
Baby rattle.
Awesome. All right, bye.
Bye.
Why isn't Scott Bakula in this?